to the It Takes Two YouTube channel. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we're going to talk about...
Oh, you missed this tagline.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Which episode is this?
This is season 6, episode 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So we pick up where... So first of all, we watched Huntsville from season 1, episode 1, all the way through.
Yeah.
So we are very familiar and attached to these characters.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get to it. So we leave off at Stormy's house. Well, we start off at Stormy's house where we left off before. And Betty is walking down her driveway to talk to her sister and Stormy. Sister walks away. She's just pretty much just saying, like, Betty, you're not my sister no more. I don't want nothing to do with you. Stormy's aunt was saying, you know, if we can't have a relationship because your mom is jealous and all these other things, then I'm sorry. And so Stormy, she wants her mom and her aunt just to talk and to work things out, but it's not going to happen. And
Stormy, stay out of grown folks' business.
She needs to stay out of their issues.
Stay out of grown folks' business.
Yeah. And it's like, I get where she's coming from because, I've have, like most people, have family issues and breakdowns in relationships. And you want the family to be how it was when things were good. But that is between the sisters. And that is not for you to try to get people together because, the middleman ends up being the villain.
Let me give you some pushback a little bit.
Okay.
Do you think because Stormy may be the breadwinner that she feels the burden of keeping the family together? Like, she's obviously close to her cousin, the one she fired. So in a way that make her at one point at least close with the aunt.
Yeah.
Her son.
And she said the aunt was like a second mom to her.
Yes.
So that's a close relationship.
So in a way, I think they said the sisters fell out, or at least the undertone of the falling out is, I believe their father got sick and they left Stormy mother to take the butt of taking care of the father. In the finance after that. So, do you think that because we seen Stormy estate, beautiful house, beautiful property.
She's got acres.
Beautiful land.
Beautiful.
That she feels like, you know what, I have to keep my family together because there's really no one else that will like take on that burden.
Yeah. And my thing is, I don't fault her for her efforts. So I guess in a way it can be a hard place to be, being in her position of pretty much being the only one that could bring the family together. Okay. But the issue also is her mom is nasty and mean. And
who mom?
Stormy's mom.
I mean, so it's the cousin mom. The cousin mom is probably nastier for real.
Not to me. She called her nephew what? She said he's a condescending prick.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, she's just taking jabs out of nowhere. And I think that a lot of issues can come up when you don't hold your people accountable. But she's not going to hold her mom accountable. She's just going to say, y'all work it out, but not be like, true. Mom, come on now.
But you have to understand that she's taking out what she feels about her sister on the cousin, on her nephew. So she's saying he's a condescending prick. Number one, my daughter had to bail you out of jail. Your mother didn't bail you out of jail. My daughter had to spend, she said, $15,000 to bail him out of jail.
But that was even foul bringing it up. Because what does that have to do with the situation?
Of course it's foul. But I'm saying, I'm going to bring it up because you mad at me because my daughter fired your son.
But she wasn't even mad that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm not saying that's the reason that they said. But I'm saying it's like a tower. It's one thing that builds on top of another thing that builds on another top of another thing that builds on top of another thing. And I just feel like it's a whole bunch of issues. It's like an onion. You're peeling layers. It's a whole bunch of issues than just the issue of Stormy saying, hey, just talk to each other. I'm like, this may take a professional.
Yeah. Overall, I think they need family therapy. Yeah. I don't think Stormy can do it by herself. I see her trying, and I think her efforts are great.
Yeah.
But just
stay out of
it. I just don't think she has the tools
to
fix it. So if she wants to help, get everybody into therapy.
Yeah, just pay for everybody to go to therapy.
Yeah. Next, we see Martell going to meet with a therapist.
Shout out to Martell, man.
Yeah, Martell.
Okay.
So, okay. I feel like you'd be trolling me about Martell, but okay.
Only thing I said was shout out to Martell.
Shout out to him. He's on the show.
I ain't saying anything. Yeah. That's all I said. Okay. I said shout out to Martell.
Shout out to him. So he meets with the therapist. He prefaces it in the confessional saying that the judge had the kids go to therapy, and he was saying the judge was saying it was only right for him to go to therapy.
That's fair. That's fair.
So to me, that is court-ordered therapy.
Whoa. Why?
I don't know how he was trying to explain it. The judge ordered you to go to therapy.
Therapy is therapy, guys. I don't care how you get there, guys. Get to therapy, okay? I don't care how you get there.
So he's in his court-ordered therapy session.
Okay.
And he is talking to the therapist, and she's asking him, how are things going with you? Mm-hmm. And are you holding things together? And mm-hmm. he's pretty much saying no.
Okay.
So he had the kids this day. The babysitter bailed out. Mm-hmm. And his mom, he tried to get his mom to come watch the kids. Apparently there was some type of issue or disagreement with that. And he was saying that he pulls back when other people don't show up for him.
Yeah.
And the therapist is pretty much saying, well, this is a toxic relationship, and you guys should really be able to communicate. He said he went off on his mom. I think Martell has anger issues, just from what we've seen.
He said he dealt with anger in his early years.
Yeah.
So here's my only issue with Martell. Based off of previous seasons, hell, every season, he's been proven to be a liar. Mm-hmm. So even when he's talking to a therapist, or as Blair would say, court-ordered therapy, I don't know how genuine he is. Or I always feel like there's another part of the story that he's leaving out. Mm-hmm. I want to believe what he said. Mm-hmm. Of course, when it comes to a babysitter, when you have kids, you want to depend on the babysitter to not cancel. Okay, cool. But that babysitter is not your kid's parent. Mm-hmm. And your mama
is not your kid's
parent. Your kid's parent. Grandparents are tired of raising kids. They want to visit the kids, and they want the kids to visit them. Mm-hmm. But when you start leaving out the door without your kids, they're like, where are you going? Mm-hmm. Take your kids with you. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I feel like the mother wouldn't have flaked on Martell just one time.
Yeah.
I feel like, this is no proven, that's just my opinion, that it probably was a routine of him dropping the kids off. And she probably, okay, not today. And somebody say yes. Somebody may say yes 7 times and then say no 1 time. And now it's like no one want to be there.
Exactly. All hell breaks loose.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to believe what he's saying, but we learned for the past, this is season 6, episode what?
12.
Every episode before that. It's been proven that Martell does not tell the full story.
And he tries so hard, I feel like, to paint a picture of the man that he is or what he wants to appear as.
Okay.
But we see right through you. We see your character. We see what you've done and what you're doing. Now, if you're going to make a change and do better and make a difference mm-hmm. and actually like evolve as a person, that's awesome. But at this point, to me, it feels like an act, and it feels like he's like trying to rebrand or something. Well, that's what it feels like.
I have no problem with him trying to rebrand, please.
But I'm saying really change though, because don't be fake with it.
I understand that. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then, so they have a couple's date night with Maurice and Kimmy, and
who?
Maurice and Kimmy and Tisha and Marceau have a date night where they do the wine and design, where they're painting like the wine glasses.
Okay.
So Maurice and Kimmy, they're pretty much just chopping it up about Monster, and Kimmy just requesting more support from Maurice.
I have a question. Is Monster, is he a junior?
Yeah, his name is Maurice Jr. They call him Monster. I don't like that name for him.
Okay, no.
But they call him Monster, yeah.
Because I felt like I seen his real name, but I just wanted to make sure that, like, he is a junior.
He is a junior.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Maurice and Kimmy are talking. Kimmy's talking about needing backup for Maurice and disciplining Monster and getting him to do his chores. Maurice just doesn't get it. For some reason, he says that he doesn't feel like Kimmy needs backup. And I'm like, if your partner is telling you, hey, I need help with this is an issue, you don't get to tell them, no, you don't. What are you talking about?
I feel like in this scene, Kimmy is doing, she's explaining herself very well about what she needs.
Yes.
And it doesn't help that Maurice gives shorthand responses. If you want to give shorthand responses, you want to make sure that at least you're correct and you want to be correct in understanding the person. Because when Tisha and Marceau came in and he said, what's going on with y'all? And I think he said, Kimmy don't want to discipline Monster or something like that. Yeah. And then that's when she's like, why are you paraphrasing me wrong? Like, why are you representing me wrong?
Yeah. He said she doesn't feel at liberty to discipline Monster. That's not what she said. No. That's not how she explained it to you.
No, it's not.
Clearly, that's all you're taking away from it. But it's like, I feel like he's choosing to misunderstand her because he doesn't want to back her up. For some reason.
I don't think that's it. I think it's an issue that we haven't seen that hopefully we see this season. Because when it came to her breast cancer, he was very understanding.
Very supportive.
So he shows the ability to understand. So it's not something that like he just can't get.
That's what I'm saying. He's choosing not to.
But I think what he hears when Monster don't do what Maurice says, Maurice disciplines. You know what? We go do these boot camps. You go do these chores because you're my son. When Kimmy says Monster's not listening to me, he's like, why don't you discipline your son? You know what I mean? Because I discipline my son. Yeah. And the part that he is ignoring is Kimmy saying, that's not my son.
That is her stepson.
And to him, he's choosing not to see the difference.
He's trying to make it seem like it's the same.
As if with all family. Even though you may give the same love, you may give the same understanding, there's a respect that I feel like Kimmy is giving to the actual mom of like, I'm only going to go so far with discipline. I told Monster to, I think she said to
clean the dishes.
To do the dishes.
He didn't.
He didn't do it. So what did she do? She gave him another chore.
Rake the leaves.
And even, I think it was last season or the season before, Kimmy's issue with Maurice has always been, you don't defend me or you don't like step up for me. I'm paraphrasing. I ain't trying to put words in people's mouths, but she basically said, like, sometimes I feel like I'm on a limb and I have to defend myself. Like, you don't really, like, have my back on certain things. So this is just the same issue that we've been seeing
in different forms.
Poke his head out in different forms. But yeah, go ahead about the... And guess what? Marceau even made a joke about it. Because even when Kimmy was trying to explain her point and Maurice was basically dismissive and talking over her, and when Kimmy was trying to talk, Marceau made a joke, said, hey, Kimmy, stop talking and let Maurice talk for you. You know what I mean? Because I think
it's so ridiculous.
Everybody sees it.
Yeah, you know? It's so ridiculous.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so then we switch over to the scene where Martell is meeting up with his brother. His brother got out of prison. I think he's on parole.
Yeah.
His brother lived a street life. Mm-hmm. So he's having him come over so he can impart some words of wisdom.
Yeah.
For him.
I like this scene. I know you ain't like it, but I like this scene.
To me, it's the same thing of him like, look at me. This is the person that I am.
Oh, we gonna do that.
I'm such a good guy.
Oh, we gonna really do that with, like, his brother was in prison.
Yes.
I think Martell, which is not good to say when it comes to men, I think he can compartmentalize a lot.
He does.
And he thinks, like, because I'm not a good husband, that doesn't mean I'm not a good father. And just because I may not be, to your point or to other people's point, not a good person, mm-hmm. that doesn't mean I'm not a good brother. Mm-hmm. But in a way, each of them bleed into each other. Mm-hmm. Because even the brother said, I haven't seen Mel in so long. Mm-hmm. You probably not go see Mel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at one point, while you was locked up or while you was away, Martell and Mel was a family. Mm-hmm. You get out, they're not family no more. So that does affect how he may see his nieces and nephew, mm-hmm. or how he may interact with his then sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. So even though he may feel like he's compartmentalized Martell, it bleeds.
Yeah.
It bleeds through other areas.
Everything. Yeah. And everybody.
It's making Blair not believe you. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
But do I think he does have some wisdom to impart? I feel like he's been through enough.
Yes.
To talk to his brother to say, which he did say, you know, take care of your wife and your family. You don't want to, you know, not have them around because of decisions that you've made.
Right message.
So, great.
I don't know about the messenger, but yeah. I feel you.
But I mean, hey, maybe he's the right messenger. He's been through enough to where he can say for a fact it's awful on this side. But, hey, you know, life goes on. He'll get through it.
Understandable.
But, you know, that's what that was. So, all right. The scenes of the episode, to me, this was like the meat of the episode.
This actually caused a debate between us.
Yes. So Maurice, Kiowa, Kimmy, and Monster are all sitting down to have a family meeting, mm-hmm. to talk to Monster about their goals, the things that they want for him, the things that he needs to be doing in the household, mm-hmm. and trying to get an understanding of what he thinks he could be doing, mm-hmm. or like anything, some type of input from him, so that way they can understand him to get him to do what he needs to do.
Yes.
So that's where we're at. What do you think about, well, first of all, you had some commentary about how the conversation started.
Yes. I ain't like how it started.
Yeah.
Everybody knew, maybe Monster didn't know. They knew what the conversation was going to be about. They felt like, Monster, you're slacking on the chores, and you're slacking basically around the house, as you stated. Them knowing that they about to have that conversation, the first thing Kimmy says to Monster is, hey, someone has a birthday coming up. What do you want for your birthday? Now, to me, I'm like, why are you talking as if this is not about to be a serious conversation on national TV?
Yeah.
Dude, you get what I'm saying? Mm. In my eyes, I felt like that was passively aggressively putting Kimmy was trying to put herself as the good cop in that moment. Mm-hmm. Because even where Maurice was sitting, Maurice wasn't even sitting there. Maurice was sitting at like the head. He was sitting like at the head of the room. It automatically puts Maurice, which, trust me, Maurice don't need help being seen as the guy that disciplines. So I'm not even trying to make it seem like Kimmy made Maurice the bad cop in that analogy. But I feel like if it was serious for you that he doesn't listen to you, Kimmy, I don't think you should be saying, what do you want for your birthday? Mm-hmm. When you tell him to wash the dishes, he don't wash the dishes. When you tell him to do laundry, he don't do the laundry. When you try to discipline him for not doing that, you tell him to rake the leaves, he don't rake the leaves. So why are we talking about birthdays, a reward right now? Mm-hmm. Even something as simple as, hey, you don't want to get your license? You don't want to get your permit? You don't want to learn how to drive? I'm like, this ain't the time for that type of conversation.
Yeah, I just
and like I'm seeing it from a male perspective, but go ahead.
I disagreed. I felt like she was just trying to break the ice, kind of make him comfortable for the conversation, get him talking about something that he might be excited or happy for.
Just for me to come and be like, and you
with
won't,
the hammer,
and you won't have that birthday if you don't follow what. It's like,
yeah,
I guess I get it.
That's how I took it. Also, they're doing it in front of a camera, so I feel like that's already nerve-wracking enough for the kid.
I have a question. What is your opinion about Maurice's parenting style? Because knowing how we seen how Maurice is, comparing it to how you've been raised, how would you compare? What's your opinion on his parenting style when you see him parenting Monster?
I'm not a fan of his parenting style. He has the boy waking up at 5 a.m. to do boot camp. Kiowa asks, okay, 5 a.m. and then what does he do? Chores. Mm-hmm. You're just making up stuff for him to do to try to create structure to make him a man. But I don't feel like you're doing what it takes to raise him as a self-sufficient adult. You know, you're trying to toughen him up or all of these things, telling him he doesn't have time for whatever. You're running out of time.
You're running out of time.
Yeah.
He's 15. Yeah, I understand.
And so how I was raised, which isn't the golden standard, but I'm happy with how I was raised, is that my parents built a relationship with me. Mm-hmm. So when there were things that I had to do or anything that was requested of me, I would do it because I didn't want to disappoint. I didn't want them to come to me and be like, why are your grades this way? Why aren't you listening? Why, you're not living up to the standard that we wish for you, because we love you and we care for you and we want to see you have the best outcome. Yeah. And to me, I think that's the approach Maurice should take, but he wants to be militant. He wants to be,
And the reason why I asked that is your parents is married still.
Right.
I don't think, excuse me, I think Maurice is criticizing Monster for how he is, like how lazy is the word that comes to mind, how he's not assertive and things like that.
Yeah, how they're painting him.
Yeah, but I don't think he points the finger at himself of like Monster is being raised in two households.
Things aren't being reinforced.
So you're not under one household, so you're not under one leadership. Even though y'all may get along and you may co-parent well, the reality is you may just be seeing now. You may be seeing, even though y'all may got divorced while he was younger, you may now starting to see the harvest of the effects of that divorce.
Right.
When I see Monster, he doesn't seem very confident. He seems shy. Shy is the word. Even Maurice was like, "Why do you look like that?" At first, I was scared. I was like,
I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he was just sitting there.
I really thought he was about to call his son a bum on national television.
Oh,
I was scared. He like, "Why do you look like that?" And he was like, "You don't look receptive to what we said." I was like, "Who?" I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Jesus, please, no, don't do that." But Monster, he's sitting there. Number one, you got to understand that from age 15, in my opinion, to age 20 is going to be the most change that a young male go through in that short amount of time. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you won't make no changes from 20 to 30, but I'm saying the changes from 15 to 20 is going to be so volatile. It's going to be so night and day because there's going to be certain external optics that may push that change. I even said a joke to you privately. I said, only thing Monster needs is a girlfriend. Only thing Monster may need is just college.
Yeah.
Those type of things that may forces someone to grow up. Because you don't want to be known on campus as the boy that don't know how to wash himself.
Yeah.
Or like the boy that don't know how to do anything.
Yeah, the boy who's, always smelly because he don't do his laundry.
So
like things, and not to say bullying shouldn't get you to be right, but sometimes bullying does get you to
listen,
to do what you need to do.
I am not advocating bullying, but I'm saying shame works. Though.
Yeah, shame
works.
And life experiences,
and I think
can snap you out of stuff quicker than your parents can.
And I think a lot of things that happen in Maurice's life, he's very successful. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he wants to. And granted, we may be criticizing your parenting style, but in no way do I not feel like you don't love your son. Mm-hmm. I know you love your son. Not a lot of fathers fight to get custody of their son from their mother.
That's huge.
So, I have no doubt that Maurice don't love Monster. You heard him, man. I'm Monster's biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monster don't play no sports.
You know
what I mean? But like I feel you though.
As his parent, yeah.
I'm his biggest fan. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Maurice have this idea of what his family's supposed to look like, as if he's married still to the mother. I'm not saying that he wants to be married to the
Kiowa.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even saying he's thinking about Kiowa. But I don't think he's even factoring in the effect of what a divorce house does to the kids.
Yeah.
To the point where people stay together just because, like, we got to stay together for the kids.
Mm-hmm. And that can be detrimental in ways too, depending on how y'all interact. So
I'm not even saying that he should have stayed married, but I think he needs to show a little grace
and consideration
of being like, the nuclear family between his mother and I, we did end it. Mm-hmm. So it's certain little things that, like, you got to ask certain questions. Like, I understand Kyo's asking questions. You got to ask questions like, do you feel like you're at home? Mm-hmm. Because he may not feel like he at home.
He may not feel like he's home.
Even though you're like, this is your house. Mm-hmm. This is your things. These are your, what I mean? Like, we all love you, but like he may not feel like he at home. And the issue that I have with all three of them, Kiowa, Kimmy, and Maurice, let me start with Kimmy and Maurice. They are passive aggressive. They throw shots at each other. I know, like, y'all like to say Kimmy is great with communication, and Kimmy, I love Kimmy. I'm a Kimmy fan. I'm not saying I'm not a Kimmy fan, but I feel like the way that she communicates with Maurice is he don't understand. So you got to change the way that you communicate. There was one part of that discussion where she said that, Maurice, you need to spend more time with Monster. Mm-hmm. You can't say that to Maurice, in my opinion, because he's not going to accept it. He's not going to hear it the way he's not going to take it the way you just said it.
Right.
So immediately he started listing the things. He's like, I take him to school. I pick him up. I help him with his homework, because for him, being a father is important to him.
Yeah.
So to come off automatically with some type of criticism of you are lacking in this fatherhood category of spending time with your son, I don't think Maurice spending more time with Monster is going to get Monster to open up, in my opinion. I think Monster sees him as a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that he's just not going to get out of Monster at this age, at 15, that he may get.
Because the foundation's kind of been laid already.
That Monster may get. Their relationship may be different at age 20, 19, 18 even. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to be so sold on this is who Monster's going to be at 15 years old. Mm-hmm. He may go through a volatile change again at 16. Mm-hmm. At one point, a couple seasons ago, y'all said Monster was vaping. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's at that teenage years to where he may try this, he may try that, he may try this.
He's learning.
He's just going through the ringer of being a teenage boy. Mm-hmm. So, like, and I don't think the way that they communicate with each other, even though it may seem like they get along in, like, the sense of, like, they all can come together in the house, they don't. Maurice said, you baby him too much, Kiowa. I'm like, that doesn't solve anything.
No.
That doesn't solve anything.
And I felt that was unfair for him to say, because she was the primary parent for him while he was growing up. So, no, Maurice, that's not fair to say she babied him when she did the best she could as a single parent. And I think that had an effect on Kimmy, because Kimmy was also a single parent when raising Jalen. And which I feel like she did a damn good job. Jalen's working. He has his own place. He's able to care for himself. And I think that's something that Maurice should take into consideration, too, of how she raised her kid and how he turned out to be.
And to your point, I think with Maurice, because he accepted Jalen as his son,
yeah,
I think he see it as, why don't you accept Monster as your kid?
Yeah.
And I think that's apples and oranges.
One, Jalen was older.
Yeah, Jalen's older, and also, like, even when Maurice, I remember seasons back, Maurice was asking Jalen, like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, tell me what you want to do. Guys like Maurice who are successful by their hands, like Maurice is very successful, and he got there by hard work. If his only language is hard work, if he don't see you working hard at something, you're doing nothing. There's no like in the middle. It's 0 to 100. If you ain't doing what I'm doing, or if you ain't working as hard as I'm working, you ain't working.
Yeah. And
it doesn't help the current situation. Kimmy throwing passive aggressive shots saying, hey, we all was at the last meeting except for you. That automatically puts people in defensive mode. Even though you may be right.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, how do we get to Monster?
Solution. Yeah.
And everybody want to do it their way. And I heard Kyle said maybe he needs his mother. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no.
I think that he needs a little bit more support from his mom. I don't know if that would change the situation as far as
He's
the chores.
15. Who knows what? Like, you really don't know what's gonna. Even when he was talking to his mother in the restaurant, he didn't seem more open. There wasn't no sign of relief. Like,
yeah, now I can talk. No, it seemed like that's just kind of how he is.
That's who he is.
Or maybe that's how he is around the camera. But I feel like that's who he is. I feel like his mom, even in the clip of the preview to come when Kimmy's having a conversation with her, she's kind of short in her responses. She doesn't elaborate a lot. So I feel like maybe he's just like his mom. He just communicates like his mother.
That was head on. We over here trying to figure it out. Or I'm over here trying to figure out, what's wrong with Monster? Is his confidence? Does he need to go to the military? Does he need to go ROTC?
I'm like, I think he's like his mama.
And you said, like, yo, him and his mother just alike. And I'm like, yo, that's 100% facts. 100% facts. He's just like his mother. So you got Maurice, who is extreme one way, who's very disciplinary and who's very talkative. And Kiowa, who may be easygoing and not as talkative. And Kimmy's like, how do you want me to discipline this kid? Because I can't exceed the discipline that the actual mother who's in the kid's life, I can't exceed what she does to him. You know, because even when they had that conversation of when because Maurice always starts these conversations, he called Kiowa on speaker and basically saying, hey, can Kimmy discipline Monster? I'm paraphrasing. And even Kyle was like, discipline how?
Exactly.
like
you don't just get to do what you want with somebody else's kid. And that goes back to the point of talking about she is his stepmother, that is her stepson, and that is a relationship that you have to respect and learn how to work the dynamic. Maurice is just saying, this is your son. No, it's a little different, so we have to operate a little different.
I think that's and here's the thing, I don't think Maurice is wrong in what he wants ultimately as a goal for the family.
Right.
He wants Monster to feel, he wants Kimmy to feel included. He wants Monster to feel included. When you're here with me, this is your home. These are Kimmy is on your side. I'm here for you. And when he goes home to his mother, I'm sure it's the same way with her and her husband. So I understand that's the ultimate goal. Because even when Kimmy said, y'all need to go to family therapy or something like that, and he said, we need to go, all he hears is like, why are you isolating yourself from the family? We are all family. We all need to go. But I think they're just getting their wires mixed up. It even said to be continued. So this is going to be a continuous conversation they're going to have next episode coming up. But I think their wires, I think everybody wants the right thing. Yeah. They want it their way, and they have to give up. They all have to give up something. Maurice need to give up how tough he is. Listen here. The boot camp, Monster looked the same as I seen him 2 seasons ago. I don't see no muscles.
Clearly, it's not a physical boot camp.
I'm about to say,
he's waking up at 5 a.m.
I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Just to wake up at 5 a.m., I guess.
I don't know. And guess what? I have no problem with a father putting structure in a son's life however he see fit.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the mother may not understand it, even if she may say, for what? If he feels like that's best for his son, is no place for me to say that's not good for him. But I think Kimmy needs to give up a little bit. Maurice needs to give up a little bit. Kiowa needs to give up a little bit. And they need to come up with a new solution together.
Yeah.
Or they need to understand that maybe this is temporary and we just need to ride the wave. A 15-year-old monster may be different than a 17-year-old monster. Mm-hmm. Let's just ride the wave. Let's get him through high school. Let's keep him out of jail. And then let's reassess.
Right.
You know
and the thing is, they're still going to be his parents. They're still going to guide him. But you can, like you said, maybe let's make the goal something a little more manageable. Mm-hmm. And just kind of see and reconvene where we can. So
he even said when he was talking to his mother, he said something about he be in a room by himself.
Talking to himself about his problems, trying to work it out on his own. I'm like, that's not healthy.
And I'm like, oh, this is
not healthy.
This is not a, like, maybe he's depressed. Who knows?
He might be.
Who knows? But I'm just saying, at this age, 14, 15, 16, you're introduced to a lot of things in the real world that affect you in ways that didn't affect you when you was 8 and 9. So he may not like school. He may not have no friends. Who knows? But it's not like one thing that Kyle said, he may need his mother. But in y'all one-on-one, he looked the same as if he was in the room with all of y'all.
He was a little happier. I felt like he was happy, especially.
What is a little happier?
He smiled.
Okay. Okay. He smiled.
I saw a smile on the boy's face. But, okay, when the mom was saying she'll come around more.
But guess what? The boy said he still talked to himself and be in the room by himself.
Yeah.
That's not much of a difference.
True.
You know? And like you said, we may have to play a part in, hey, this is national television. This is, even though we trying to make it seem like it's a family meeting, there may be 4 producers in that room. Mm-hmm. And now we're just
airing out all his stuff.
We're having a real conversation on national television that my high school friends will, make fun of or not make fun of. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Obviously, with this conversation, this doesn't make me the coolest kid in the school.
I mean, even as a kid, I didn't like when my mom would tell my business to my grandma and the family and things like that. But the thing is, your parents gotta seek support for their child, in their community. But it's just like, you don't even want your business spread within your own family versus having it on television. So
I'm very interested in how the next episode will go. But besides that, was that basically it? I think it ended with to be continued on that scene.
Yeah, it ended on that. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah,
it brought up a lot of good conversation about parenting styles and also like trying to blend a family. So it was great, and I'm glad they shared it because it was very insightful.
Yeah, sometimes you can't strong arm your kids sometimes, man. Like, it works for some kids. I ain't gonna be wrong. Like, for example, Martell said that ROTC worked for him.
Yeah, and that's what got him straight.
With his, at least with his anger.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So because he said he used to just be angry and be fighting all the time. Yeah. So he said he don't fight all the time. Mm-hmm. So, like, you just don't know what may affect you. I was part of ROTC, and I didn't want to be part of ROTC. The first thing I asked the instructor was, anybody in ROTC do like we automatically listen in the military? They said no. I didn't know I was gonna like it. Mm-hmm. But what happens is you meet people and you meet your friends there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I love ROTC. Yeah. I was a high enlisted officer in my class doing ROTC.
Yeah.
So, and
being, the person that people look up to, or just being in that situation with your peers, like, it makes you want to do well in that space.
You just don't know. Mm-hmm. Like 15 is a high school through itself is a
crazy time.
Is a crazy time. Mm-hmm. So especially in these times, like, you just don't know. Ride the wave, man. He may just keep him out of jail, get him through high school, and he may surprise you. Mm-hmm. He may surprise you. I don't know. He may surprise you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all.
Man, hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode. Make sure y'all like this episode. Make sure y'all share this episode. Sharing is caring.
Comment and subscribe. Let us know what you thought about it. How do you feel about their parenting styles?
Yeah.
And what do you think that could be a good solution to get Monster to do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
So, all right, peace.
Y'all enjoy yourself.